Introduction. In this video series, we're going to explore one of the easiest and the fastest ways to learn and practice a piece of music for the classical guitar. This means learning how to practice in the most efficient way possible. There are a total of 6 lessons. So far, we have done 3, and now we're going to do the next lesson in the series, Lesson 4. Purpose. It is my intention in this video series to do 6 lessons and then put them all together in one long continuous video, which will eventually become a small lesson book. Background. In the previous lesson, Lesson 3, we discussed the process of how to learn a piece of music more perfectly and efficiently. You can click on that link in the upper right-hand corner to watch that video. These lessons are derived from a previous work written by Louis Gehring. His lesson was one of many that were published in 1980 in a book called Guitar Masterclass, compiled and edited by Rinald J. Sherrod. We have already covered step 1, 2, and 3 of his lessons. Now we're going to move on to lesson 4, memorize. Step 4, lesson 4, memorize. This will be a recap of Louis Gehring's step 3, so I'm going to read it once more. Begin practice starting with the first phrase only, carefully avoiding any mistakes. Study should begin by using the metronome set at approximately 1/2 the future performance tempo. This initial speed will depend greatly on the difficulty of the composition. When playing at this speed is mastered with appropriate dynamics and articulations and timbre, the metronome should be moved up 1 notch. After this speed is mastered, then 1 more notch. When the player has achieved 3/4 of the performance tempo, he should go on to the next phrase in the same manner, and so on. After a section has been learned with this method, the whole section should be practiced with 3 metronome speeds, slow, medium, and fast, the performance tempo. This is the way the section will be studied from now on in order to maintain and perfect it, and to memorize. So practice. We're going to recap Lágrima, which is a piece composed by the Spanish guitar composer Francisco Targa, with its tempo of 84 beats per minute. Number 1, the metronome is to be set approximately 1/2 the future performance tempo. 84 divided by 2 equals 42. From 42, number 2, the metronome should be moved up 1 notch after you master each one. Keep moving up a notch until, number 3, when the player has achieved 3/4 of the performance tempo. He should go on to the next phrase in the same manner. Number 4, you go on to the next section in the same manner. So 3/4 divided times 84 equals 63. Number 5, the whole section should be practiced with 3 metronome speeds, slow, medium, and fast, the performance tempo. Number 6, the piece should be mastered along with appropriate dynamics, articulations, and timbre. Now, let's take a walk through the piece using Finale Music Program. Okay, so now we're going to look at Lágrima and how to practice this. So first, we need the metronome to be set at 1/2 the future performance tempo. In this case, the tempo is 84 beats per minute, so we divide it by half. So 84 divided by 2 equals 42. So we'll practice this at 42. Don't forget, when you practice this, that you also practice with the appropriate dynamics, articulations, and timbre. Okay, that's very important. I'm going to stress that one more time. When you practice this at this slow tempo, half, practice with the appropriate dynamics, articulations, and timbre, as well as perfecting the piece. So let's listen to this at 42. Okay, that's at half the tempo, 42. Now we use the metronome and move it up one notch. After you master each one, keep moving up a notch until you achieve 3/4 of the performance tempo. So 3/4 times 84 equals 63. So let's hear it at 63 now. This is 3/4 of the tempo, so we're clicking up, 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 up to 63. That's our target. So now let's hear it again at 3/4 the tempo at 63. Okay, that's at 3/4. Continue on in this manner from phrase to phrase to phrase until you complete the entire piece. And you go into each section this way. You practice the whole section, should be practiced in 3 metronome speeds, slow, medium, fast, as we just showed there. So now let's listen to the piece at tempo, which is 84. So hopefully you'll get there. It doesn't matter what music you're playing or practicing, it's going to be dealt with the same fashion. So here it is at tempo. Okay, that's at tempo. So once again, let's summarize here. The practice is you determine what the tempo of the piece is. In this case, it's 84 beats per minute. And we're going to cut that in half. We're going to start there. 84 divided by 2 is 42. So we start with 42. Once we start at 42, we move up one notch after you master each one. Okay, that's very important. Master each one, then move it up to the next notch and master it at the next notch. Keep moving until you achieve 3/4 of the performance tempo. In this case, it will be 3/4 times 84 equals 63. And don't move on until you perfect it. And then you will also continue this same procedure to the next section. And you do this for every section. Like in this case, section A, as you can see here, and then you move on to section B, 3/4. Final thoughts and conclusion. So let's recap the previous 3 lessons, including this one. We must first determine the phrases or sections of a piece of music. What is a phrase? Then we apply the easiest possible right and left hand fingerings. Third, we put that all into practice. And now fourth, we put it to memorizing. Remember to show your work on the music so you can easily follow the roadmap. Don't skimp on anything. This will be very important in the latter lessons to come. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with others. See you in the next video. Concluding remarks and final thoughts. As you can see, this piece was a rather easy piece, not much of a challenge to finger for the left hand. I didn't provide the right hand fingerings. I'll leave that up to you how to do that. But one thing to keep in mind, and this is the most important thing when considering easy fingerings or making the fingerings for a piece of music easier and easier to play, is that once you have established the fingerings for both the right and the left hands, be sure to stick with those. Consistency. Don't go about changing those later on. The first thing you need to do when you look at a piece of music is you want to do a scan of it. You scan through the piece of music, meaning that you play through it very, very slowly in the correct rhythm. And as you're playing this piece for the first time, very, very slowly, consider the fingerings as you're playing this. Are they easy? Are they comfortable? Do they flow from one to the next fingering? And are they very consistent with both the right and left hands? How does it feel to you when you play this? After you scan through the piece a few times, then play the piece up to tempo as fast as you can in the correct rhythm and see if the fingerings still feel comfortable. Then once you get a handle and a good idea of the fingerings you're going to use or about to use, then you can go through and actually change the fingerings to reflect something that's more easier to play. So the first thing you always want to do is you always want to scan through the piece of music and then consider the fingerings as you're playing it very, very slowly. Don't forget that. The tempo is key. All right, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we will continue this series with a few more lessons and can have my concluding thoughts about the entire lessons that were originally written by Louis Gehring. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.